Welcome to Village TV. I'm Steve Hoskins. Today in our Entrepreneur Series, we have a special guest, Sam Bashiry from Broadband Solutions. This is an ISP startup that only 10 years ago started with capital of $1,000 and today turns over more than $10 million per annum. So we're stoked to have him here for Village TV. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you for having me.
Mate, it's a pleasure. Really fascinated by your story, your business and how you came about. But I'd love you to give us a bit of a snapshot of how you've arrived to the point you are today. Take us back to the origins of you as a startup, as a co-founder of your business.
Yeah, sure. I guess I've been in the industry for over 15 years and working in the industry, there was a niche market in terms of the corporate and the SME. That was kind of a lot of ISPs weren't really focusing on. So I thought, it would be a good idea to open up an internet service provider where we can actually focus on customer service and people's requirements within the business sector. And I guess it started from there and just snowballed and continued to grow.
What do you put down your ability to pick up on that opportunity? Because it seems to me, having had a look at how Broadband Solutions has evolved over the years, that there's a pivotal point that changed from what you knew to an idea to getting it going. What was it that you put it down to? How come you have that?
I guess it's being part of technology. Technology is changing all the time, and it's exciting, and it's you want to be a part of that excitement, and you see a lot of growth within technology. So it was a matter of seeing that niche and actually acting on it. I think a lot of people are fearful of making change. It's all about making changes in life, and that's what I did. I just took that chance and went with it and worked very hard. I guess you got to put in the long hours initially, and you continue to work hard, but if you believe in something, it's about doing it, making that change and not being fearful.
So you were in your 20s when you made that change.
Yep.
You were employed?
Yes, I was.
By an organisation. You'd had a couple of moves inside a couple of companies. Yep. FTEL was one of them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
A lot of people who are watching this, our subscribers, are entrepreneurs or they're bidding sole traders that want to develop a bigger business.
Yep.
They may be working in an organisation and doing something on the side. How can you talk to them about making that, as you say, the change and the fear that it comes about? What can you say about helping them make that leap?
I think it's all about reducing the risk. How do you reduce the risk? And also everyone's situation is different, I guess, where you're at in your life. So I guess you need to look back and see where you are and what your situation is. And you sit down and say, well, how do I reduce the risk? And by, that could mean that, you could start something on the side. It could be at a different vertical, but start it at the side and build it up to a way that, maybe you can cover half of your salary. I think it's a big move to quit and start a new business from nothing. Or the other way would be to save some money initially, have some savings behind you. I think it's very important not to go in the red initially, and that's what it's all about. It's about being sensible, going small, but, putting all the building foundation in that you need to do. Whereas a lot of businesses, you find that they go too big, too quick, and they can't sustain that. So it's about going very small. And that's what we did. It was all about, getting the smallest office in the whole building block, and building up from there. So I think that's quite important. And
was there a pivotal moment doing business that changed everything for you? What was that? And then how did you just sort of bite off more than you can chew and chew like mad? That usually tends to be what people tend to do.
Yeah, and that's a great question. I don't believe in luck. I believe in opportunities. I think an opportunity presents itself to you, and it's what you do with that opportunity that could change your life. Right. The opportunity for us was getting a shot at the hospitality sector, and we just grabbed that and really went with it. And what we did was we sat down and we listened to the customer, and we saw how can we do things better. And that's what we did. We sat down, we put a lot of time and effort into listening to different hotels and understanding what their requirements are and how can things be done better. And that's what we did. And it's a lot of work, but it really pays off. So currently we look after over 85% of all the hotels in Australia. And, that opportunity presented itself 8-9 years ago. And, it's just understanding and seeing the potential in that opportunity.
So 8.5 times out of 10, if you go to a hotel and you log onto their Wi-Fi, it's going to be one of Sam's Wi-Fi products, one of the broadband products.
Yes, we hope so, yeah.
Sounds pretty good. And tell us a little bit about where you're at now and having moved from that startup phase and, taking risk, but also mitigating a bit of that, taking opportunity, expanding on that. Now you're in a different speed. You're in a different gear. How do you keep it going? And also, we'd like to know a little bit about what your future plans are.
Yeah, sure. I think it's all about staying focused and not becoming complacent, and also moving from that small business mentality to setting up a proper business structure, which I think is quite important. When you're starting a business, a lot of the times you don't have the time to do all that. It's all about, okay, let's get some runs on the board. That's what's quite important. But as you grow as a company, it's very important you put proper structure in place. And that's what we've done. Over the years, okay, we might be a small company, but we have structures in place that are similar to companies that are 10 times the size of Broadband Solutions. And I think if you put those foundations in place, then it will allow you to grow without taking huge risks. And I think it's all about systems and having the right foundations.
And what about your own psyche or your sense of well-being and keeping everything? I mean, there's a lot of responsibility now for someone like yourself. You've got a lot of employees. When you started with your co-founder, there were just the two of you.
Yes.
How do you take that pressure or that responsibility and keep that counted, as well as the focus of expansion and still taking risk, etc.?
I exercise. I try to exercise. Okay. I think, you need to wake up. I wake up early in the morning, around 5 o'clock every morning. And I, exercise for half an hour to an hour every morning. And, that helps me a lot, helps me to ease my mind and get ready for my day. And that's what I do. I'm lucky I don't get stressed for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. I think, it works well for me just exercising day to day, and that helps me. And also, I don't believe in challenges. I think it's more like exciting stuff happening all the time rather than challenges. So what I mean by that is, at the moment, we're looking at setting up a call center with 100 new staff.
Wow.
And that's very challenging, right? So you can't really let it get to you. You just got to move on.
Is that a call center for your business?
Yes, it is. So we're looking at setting up a call center in Australia. It's going to be mainly sales.
Yep.
So we're looking at, we have a plan and a forecast for the next 12 months to 3 years. And as a part of that, we need to, grow.
So that'll be outbound sales?
Outbound sales, yeah.
And obviously an inbound return.
Yep, that's right.
Inbound sales. What are you going to be selling? I'm fascinated to know.
Yeah, voice and data solutions. So the way we look at it is, every business in Australia has a telephony service and an internet service. So, everyone has a requirement for our product. So it's about providing good customer service. And what we have done well is we've invested a lot of money in our own infrastructure, and we have our own network.
Yep.
So what that allows us to do is stay carrier neutral. So we can provide you any solution within Australia at a competitive price, combined with good customer service. And I think, people do want good customer service, and that's quite important.
So by putting this many people on to make that offering, and you'll be offering it to SMEs
and corporate, yeah.
And corporate. How is the NBN going to impact the future of provision of data services and certainly telephony, VoIP, for example? How is that going to change business for us?
I think NBN is exciting. It's well overdue. There's still a lot of changes happening with it on a daily basis sometimes. So what we have done is, again, invested to make sure we are there when it is available. So at the moment, you're getting a lot of residential NBN products. Mm-hmm. We don't sell residential services. So what we did 6 months ago was we actually did our onboarding process with the NBN, so we can buy direct from NBN rather than buying from a second-tier supplier. So when it does become available for businesses, we are ready to provide that at a business level. I think it will be a game changer. But it's all interesting and it's all exciting. It's like from the days of going from dial-up to broadband. I've been a part of it from day one when it was dial-up, Bing, bing, bing. Exactly right. So, that's right.
That's as good as I do.
That's pretty good.
Thanks.
So it's just being part of technology and the changes. And, even with cloud computing, that's very new. That's something that we invested a lot in over the last few months. And that's something that, that's going to be interesting and exciting as well.
Cloud computing's a massive industry now.
Yep.
Tell me a bit about when you are expanding to the point of 100 people on top of what you already have, and you're CEO.
Yes.
Your responsibility to the people below you is going to just increase. You have a management structure.
Yes.
That will be certainly growing underneath you. A lot of our subscribers and businesses aspire to be in this position in 10 years. Even 20 would be pretty impressive. You've had a very fast track to where you're at the moment. Tell us a little bit about what your philosophies are from a management point of view, what you look for in your leaders and what you would like them to do to get the most out of the people from from entry level into your company all the way up to your direct reports and then ultimately a board?
Yeah, I think it's all about teamwork. I think it's really simple. It's always about teamwork. We have an open door policy. It's all about listening to your staff all the way from bottom to the top. And as long as you do that and you take everyone's feedback on board and work as a team, there's no such a thing as I. It's always about teamwork, and it works quite well for us. And we try and find staff that fit our culture within our organisation, and that's all about having an open door policy and listening to everyone and just keeping it simple. No politics, just nice and simple.
Wow, that's a pretty strong aspiration. Have no politics in the company. You talked of culture. What is the culture at your organisation?
Yeah, well, we are very big on customer service. So we look for friendly people with experience, people that want to be part of Broadband Solutions. So, okay, we are growing, but still it's a family business. That's the way I look at it. Everybody becomes part of the family and everybody grows with us. So it's all about bringing young people into our organisation and moulding them. And it's really lovely to see people grow with you. And I think it gives you a lot of pleasure to look back at a staff in 2-3 years down the track and see how far they've come.
Yeah.
And it's very nice to see that.
Your staff probably watch this video. I'd like to think that they'll get onto Village TV and have a look at it. What would you like to say to them about working at Broadband Solutions and their future and their contribution at the moment?
Well, I should say thank you for being a part of it, because we wouldn't be where we are without our staff. And, that's so valuable to have good staff that believe in you, especially when you're small. And we wouldn't be able to do it. And, it's just starting. This is just the start. So it's about putting in all the hard work, all the foundation in place that you need to. And now it's time to grow. And I'm really excited about it. And, we wouldn't be able to do it without them.
Fantastic. I wouldn't mind working for Sam. Maybe you got a job going
doing
interviewing for Broadband. I've got a bit of a creative question before we sign off, and I'll hand back to you just to sort of finish up. But if back then, 10 years ago, which doesn't seem like 2005 to me doesn't sound that long ago, but 10 years ago, if you could have walked into the Dragon's Den show, for example, where you pitch your idea about what it is you had in mind for your business, and they could give you some startup venture capital, what would you have done if you got all the funds that you could have back then? What would have been different to having to work up to where you are to being given a big chunk of funds to get going quickly?
Good question. I think it wouldn't have been as much fun as it has been. I think part of the journey is growing.
Right.
Growing as a person, growing as a business. And that's what's been fun. I'm a believer of starting a business with $1,000 and turning into something big, rather than, having $1 million and taking it to the next level. So it's been a great journey. It's been a lot of fun. We love what we do. And that's what it's all about. Keeping it simple, having fun, doing the right thing by the consumers, and people will come back to you. I think I'm a big believer of word of mouth.
Yeah.
And as long as you do the right thing, you will continue to grow. So,
well, personally, I think it's a great attitude, and I'm just stoked to have you with us today. And congratulations on your success so far. I know that you're just in your journey, and it's going to get bigger and better. And I wish you all the best for that. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Our pleasure. So we have Sam Bashiry, the CEO of Broadband Solutions, here on Village TV. We hope you enjoyed it. We look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye for now.